So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. It's been about 10 years since I bought the iPhone XR. No, I'm just kidding. It's been since October 2018, so something like 6 to 7 months ago. And I want to discuss here, in my experience using this thing, is it still worth it? Because we're about halfway through its cycle. There's going to be new iPhones, and it might not be worth it. It might be worth it for some of you. Okay, guys, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the design of the iPhone XR. Now, with the iPhone XR, one thing that kind of didn't give it too new of a feel was that Apple has an aluminum side on this phone. So over my 6 months, it felt pretty much like any other iPhone before it on the sides, because the 8 Plus, the 7 Plus, the 7, even the 6s, even the iPhone 5S, and even the iPhone 5 had this aluminum on it. So this was nothing new in the 6 months. The stainless steel is on the XS and XS Max. The rear, I actually really like the single camera design over my time using it, and I like the size of it. At 6.1 inches, it just wasn't too big, it wasn't too small. But one thing I did not like about the iPhone XR, and I still don't like to this day, is it's pretty wide. So it doesn't feel super narrow side to side. But overall, I gotta say its design is classy, it's minimal, it's clean, and overall I still think it's a very nice design. Probably not the best design out there, but still it's a pretty good value here at mid 2019 if you were deciding to pick up an iPhone XR. Overall, I gotta say I've been pleased with it. So should you buy it mid 2019 in terms of display? Now, a lot of people thought from the get-go, no, you should not buy this at all in terms of display. iPhone XR's display is kind of bittersweet. It's sweet in that it's a nice new design if you're looking for an iPhone under $1,000, but it's bitter in that it doesn't have OLED and all that. Based on all the comments I've been seeing and users saying that it really hasn't bugged them too much, I gotta say I agree with them. It hasn't bugged me too much either. Over my 6 months, I really do not have a problem with the iPhone XR's display. Am I blown away by it? No, I'm not blown away by the iPhone XR's display, but I do think it's okay and it's perfectly serviceable for most people that would be buying this type of phone. So I made a video the other day why I'm switching back to the iPhone, and mostly a lot has to do with iOS, and iOS for the iPhone XR has actually been a really good experience. It's super smooth, has the 120 Hertz touch sensing rate, so basically very smooth. Anything you do, anything you open, it's just liquid on here on this device. So what that means is nothing is gonna look laggy, nothing's gonna stutter, and when you go ahead and swipe out, the gestures are ultra smooth as well. It's just a pleasing experience. It's polished, so smooth in fact that you literally will not even be questioning what kind of processor you have, anything like that. You'll just be like, I love this phone, it's smooth, it's fast, it works well. There's no way to split screen, so if I go into these applications, I can't do no split screen, nothing like that. There's no dark mode either. So at nighttime right now, it's a little bit bright in your face using this phone, but at the same time, that goes with all the iOS devices. We should be seeing upgrades in iOS 13, but for now, I don't think it has the funnest software to use when it comes to when it's nighttime or, you know, productivity features, functionality. But again, just it's very polished and there's not a lot of performance issues, if any, on this device. The fact that iOS 13 is right around the corner might be actually a good reason to pick one up now instead of when it first launched. When it comes to the audio performance with the XR, if you're buying it now, there's a lot of phones that do have stereo speakers, and the iPhone XR is one of those phones. So when you do play a video here, like say you're watching a Nick Ackerman channel, if I go right here, you can still hear it. If I go over here, you can still hear it. So the iPhone XR definitely has a pretty good speaker performance on it, even here in mid 2019. It's not the loudest phone I've ever heard, but again, at this point, you really can't make a phone without putting dual speakers at this price point that the iPhone XR is. So I'm not disappointed with the performance of audio on this phone, but I do miss not having a headphone jack sometimes. If you get some AirPods, you won't be missing that much either. Okay, so an area where you absolutely will be totally happy, I got the Apple logo all messy, where you'll be totally happy is the camera. 4K 60 frames per second video. I actually did some B-roll in my last video with this phone of the XS Max, and nobody really noticed. They actually really enjoyed that video, most people. So I think the camera on here is excellent still. I mean, I think for a single camera, it does enough. I don't really even miss having multiple lenses, to be honest, and I like the simplicity of a single camera a lot of times. I don't even got to think about it. I know all it does is shoot photos. Now, the front-facing camera on iPhone XR is also pretty good as well. You don't see me because I'm actually monitoring the video to make sure things are in focus, but really, the front-facing camera is also quite good as well. So I gotta say, overall, iPhone cameras really haven't let us down in quite some time, but what's really impressive on the XR to me is the Smart HDR feature and the 4K 60 video, just incredible. Okay, so quite possibly the most impressive part of the iPhone XR is the battery life, and in my 6 months using it, get through the day with ease and go into the next day. Now, I know if you watch some battery tests out there, you'll see it not beating any phones, the Note 9 with bigger batteries, but in actual real world usage, I can't really tell a difference because at the end of the day, the iPhone XR has plenty of battery life left. Also, what's really nice about the XR is the ability to place it on a wireless charger, making it effortlessly easy to charge this thing. Wireless chargers can be found for $5–10 now these days. So just placing it on a wireless charging mat is awesome. So the phone call quality with the iPhone XR, good, but as long as you have reception. I didn't always have the best reception with this phone. I said this about my other iPhones, and it's just true. I don't get 5 bars on this device, and that's probably due to the Intel modems. I mentioned this with a lot of my iPhones. So right now, if you're looking for the best phone for phone call quality, I probably would not pick the iPhone XR, to be fair with you. And I want to mention the iPhone XR's color, because this is the real thing about the XR that actually makes a difference in owning this phone. It's personal. You know, the colors are very vibrant, and they're just beautiful colors that really show through when you're, you know, just checking this phone out through a clear case. If you get a darker case, you kind of ruin the point of having a XR. So I would just get a clear case if I was you. And I look at it to this day, and I really just love the colors. This one just has more life to it. So that's one of the main things I still like about it. I hope Apple brings this back. I'm not sure they will bring back the XR with all its colors because they didn't do it right away after the 5C. If history tells us anything, we're not 100% certain that Apple will keep bringing all these colors. So you might want to get on one right now while they are offering them and they're still modern. So in conclusion, the iPhone XR, should you buy this thing in 2019? While there are some things some people are still going to complain about, as they always do in the comment section, and this one represented something that Apple hasn't done in the past couple years, and that's give you a newer design for less than $999.99. And the XR knocked that one out of the park when it comes to giving you a decent value, most of what you want on an iPhone, and making a few sacrifices that were felt but weren't enough to like really ruin the experience. So the XR for me is still a worthy recommend mid 2019. Will there be better iPhones down the line? Absolutely. But if you buy one now, you know the value on an Apple device is not going to drop that much. You can just trade this thing in later. So if you had your eyes set on the XR, pick it up. You'll be fine with it even here mid 2019. So if you guys found this video helpful, entertaining, informing, do me a favor, click that like button for me. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. I will catch you all in the very next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well, and peace.